astrological forecast for 2026 for representatives of the Leo zodiac sign. 2026 for you is the beginning of a transformation in your life, no matter how loudly this may sound. Throughout this year, you will inevitably have to let go of something. Something will have to be left in the past, or at least its level of significance will need to be reduced. And this is truly necessary for the start of a completely new path. Some people will give up their independence and create a family. Some will lower the importance of their professional or career achievements in order to dedicate more time to their family. Some will decide to relocate and leave behind the familiar world they are accustomed to. Some will relinquish a comfortable but dependent position and take the reins of their destiny into their own hands. Without a doubt, an entirely new and exciting path awaits you. Indeed, this is the year when generous Jupiter enters your sign, an event that occurs only once every 12 years. Jupiter grants perspectives, offers new status, a new role, and a new understanding of your own possibilities. Saturn and Neptune from the 9th astrological sector of your horoscope will provide aspects of fortune in relation to your sign, expanding your horizons, changing your worldview, opening opportunities for learning, gaining new status, and also providing possibilities for new and distant paths. The southern karmic lunar node represents the accumulated karmic balance. For the first time in 18 years, it will enter your sign. This indicates that it is time to release something, and there is no way to avoid it. For convenience, let us divide this forecast by areas of life, by directions, and also by periods, by months of 2026. Let's start with self-realization. In this sphere, generous Jupiter will certainly play a decisive role, entering your sign and remaining there for the entire year. Let us discuss the most common patterns of Jupiter's manifestation in the first house. Jupiter symbolizes expansion in all its forms. Jupiter is truly a rare guest in our own sign, and its blessing cannot be overlooked, even if the opportunities for growth, for expansion, are very different from what you imagined. Jupiter gives each person a path to success, and this path can certainly be traversed by someone willing to take it. Jupiter symbolizes authority, significance, and respect. It represents a person with a generous and broad soul, someone capable of noble deeds. Therefore, during such a transit, we often have the opportunity to achieve a higher status, acquire a new role, or strengthen and solidify our position where we already are, thereby consolidating ourselves at a worthy level. During this transit, success often comes in work, career, or independent professional endeavors. Respect and truly worthy results are achieved. A new personal status is possible, once again related to work, new status in scientific or educational activity, or status as a private entrepreneur. For women and young women, new status may come through marriage, childbirth, or through the achievements of their life partner. Jupiter represents a statusful and influential person. Therefore, during this transit, people usually put effort into looking presentable, enhancing their external attributes of success. For example, one may acquire more expensive clothing, branded accessories, or a prestigious vehicle. This is a time when making an impression truly matters. Often, Jupiter brings an expansion of interests. We tend to travel more, study more, and frequently learn foreign languages. Jupiter in this sector also amplifies ambition. We desire many things. However, in mid-August, the southern karmic lunar node also enters your sign, which narrows this corridor of desires. It concentrates this flow, and we may achieve one or several very important results. Overall, the transit of Jupiter through your sign is a cause for congratulations. This is a truly unique time that occurs only once in 12 years. The next area is finances. Until mid-August 2026, the axis of karmic lunar nodes will lie on your financial axis, the energetic material axis of your horoscope. The northern karmic lunar node, representing the future and expanding possibilities, will occupy the sector of your 8th house, which represents other people's resources. Meanwhile, the southern karmic lunar node, representing the past and closure, will be in your 2nd house, which is the sector of personal income. The southern node narrows this energetic channel, which may create a sense of insufficiency, a feeling that something is lacking. This pertains specifically to financial, material, energetic, and temporal resources. You might feel that you cannot complete tasks on time, that there is not enough time, or that it is too late to start something. This could also manifest as a dependency on another person, such as a life partner, parents, or the state through social benefits, or a dependency on your own financial obligations, such as a loan or maintaining someone else financially, or managing a high level of constant expenses. This sense of dependency may create a feeling of having literally bound hands, unable to act freely. For instance, there might be anxiety about changing jobs because you need a steady salary to meet financial obligations. At times, it may seem that resources are insufficient or just barely enough from paycheck to paycheck. The key word here is seem, because this positioning of karmic lunar nodes creates this perception. The main lesson of this karmic axis is to learn to use other people's resources effectively, not just use them, but derive personal benefit in terms of the future. For instance, if your parents or life partner pay for an educational course, or you gain access to free training from a government or organization, it is crucial to utilize this resource to gain knowledge and create income opportunities in the future. Similarly, taking a loan or mortgage to acquire housing may initially create concerns due to regular payments, but eventually, you will have your own property and will not need to pay rent. In other words, using someone else's resource for a period of time can help establish your future income. After mid-August 2026, this karmic task will no longer be relevant. Additionally, your finances will be influenced by generous Jupiter entering your first house, which occurs only once every 12 years. From this moment, you reassess your capabilities in the material world, establishing your personal benchmark for what you consider permissible for yourself financially. The level of income you achieve in the future depends on the standards you set now. This year is therefore a time to learn how to use other people's resources to create your own financial opportunities, not necessarily immediate, but for the future. Another important task is to set the highest permissible level for yourself, reflecting your financial and material expectations, which will influence your future income. The next area is personal life. Partnership relationships are a key focus for your zodiac sign in 2026 and 2027. This is the primary field of transformation along the axis, I and the other, you and your partner. The year begins a series of eclipses, which over the next 2 years will bring radical changes in this sector. The nature of these changes depends on 2 main factors. First, your current relationship situation, and second, the decisions, conclusions, actions, and steps you took 9 years ago, specifically from April 2017 to November 2018. It is worth recalling what relationship events occurred during that period. The influence of the eclipse cycle in your partnership sector may manifest as a reevaluation of the meaning and structure of your relationships, not only romantic relationships, but also relationships with friends and business partners. Second, it may change your personal status in connection with these partnerships, such as entering marriage, starting a joint business, or becoming a trusted associate in a business relationship. The year may also involve relinquishing your current status under the influence of your partner. For example, leaving a low-paying job to start a business together or relocating due to a partner's career change. Third, over these 2 years, you may reassess your role in relationships, distribution of responsibilities, or even change the type of partner you consider suitable. This period will also bring important events related to key partners, whether a life partner, close friends, or business associates. For those seeking relationships, this is an excellent time to find a destined or karmically significant partner, particularly after the northern karmic lunar node enters your sign mid-August. For those in stagnant relationships, these 2 years will change power dynamics and status, breaking long-standing stagnation. A potential trap during this period is becoming fixated on one person. If relationships do not progress, there may be a tendency to insist that this specific person is necessary and no one else will do. The next area is children. From the moment Jupiter enters your sign, it provides aspects of fortune related to the house of children. The southern karmic lunar node will also influence the house of children, symbolizing karmically important actions, frequently indicating childbirth. Jupiter represents expansion, and one manifestation of this expansion may be the birth of a child. Where karmic lunar nodes are involved, situations are rarely simple. Elements of chance, difficult choices, or the sense of limited options are present. This can manifest as an unplanned pregnancy or a conscious decision to prioritize family and parenting. If childbearing is not relevant, the karmic lunar nodes will occupy the 3rd and 9th houses relative to your child's house, indicating a clear direction in your child's education. You may focus on language study or enrolling your child in various courses. If your child is an adult, this year may bring diplomas or important professional documents, highlighting academic success and career progress. This also includes legal documentation such as birth certificates, educational certificates, or registration of residence. The next area is work and career. This sector will be highly favorable for your sign in 2026 and 2027, especially if career advancement is important to you. Jupiter in your sign will give a green light for achieving a significant, influential status, enhancing your professional reputation, and realizing ambitions. Saturn and Neptune in your 9th house will also provide opportunities but require effort. They demand investment in professional development through additional education or deepening expertise in your field. This year is ideal for career choice, understanding your true vocation, or even leaving a job that you have held out of caution or obligation. Some may change work due to relocation or maternity leave. The next area is health. Back in 2024, the planet Pluto left the sector of your health, and with its departure, a long-standing issue with your health, which tended to flare up periodically, could also have subsided. Fears and anxieties related to your health might have diminished or disappeared. Many Leos, starting from 2024, could have begun to pay more attention and care to their physical well-being, focusing on nutrition, sleep schedules, rest, and regular physical activity. In other words, Pluto's departure from the health sector may have fundamentally shifted your attitude toward a healthy lifestyle and helped you break certain harmful habits. Meanwhile, the planet Jupiter, which will reside in your 12th house of the horoscope until mid-year, can assist in forming a comprehensive system of health-related practices that you can integrate into your daily or regular routine. The 12th house, where Jupiter currently resides, governs chronic illnesses and long-term health patterns. During this period, you may come to understand that feeling physically strong, energetic, and active requires continuous attention and consistent practices. This involves not only taking care of nutrition, sleep, and rest, but also maintaining regular exercise and preventive medical checkups. Jupiter's influence from the 12th house helps you implement a complete regimen into your life, transforming it into a habit or system rather than sporadic actions. Overall, the astrological factors affecting your health in 2026 are extremely favorable. However, if there is already a chronic condition or a health issue demanding attention, it is advisable to address it as early as possible while Jupiter still influences the 12th house. If medical intervention or surgery is required, it is better to choose a clinic located far away, in another city or even abroad, rather than one chosen for convenience or proximity to home. The location factor should not determine your decision. Similarly, visiting a sanatorium or a wellness center during this time is highly favorable. This does not imply that care for yourself becomes unfavorable after mid-year, as maintaining health is always beneficial. The following area is the home and real estate. There are no direct astrological influences on this sector throughout 2026, but there are indirect effects. Starting mid-year, as Jupiter enters your sign, it will form challenging aspects to your house and property sector. This typically ignites a strong desire to live in better conditions and creates a sense of deserving more or better. Even if your current living situation is comfortable, Jupiter's transition generates the desire for additional property, such as purchasing another apartment, a land plot, or a country house. If, during the past year and a half, the North Node traveled through your 8th house of investments, and you acquired property or made an investment in construction, that property may now be ready for occupancy. You might start renovations, improve the property, or rent it out for passive income. If, however, you were only saving money for a future property purchase. The transaction could be completed this year, though it may be slightly delayed, potentially creating impatience as you wait to accumulate sufficient funds. Throughout the year, the circumstances and decisions of your partner may also affect relocation. For instance, if your life partner must move for work, you may move with them. Or if you previously lived with relatives, your partner may insist on separate accommodation, prompting you to find a new residence. Jupiter in the first house, along with Saturn and Neptune in the ninth, may indicate relocation to another city, climate zone, or from a large urban area to a smaller suburban settlement. Jupiter's energy inspires expansion, so if personal growth or family expansion is limited, this desire for growth may manifest through acquiring property or expanding your material assets. Now let's examine 2026 by months. In January, the full moon occurs in Cancer in your 12th house. This full moon is comfortable and cozy, offering an opportunity to discover new meanings and insights. The 12th house represents what lies behind us, providing purpose and initiating goals. It is a period of self-motivation, introspection, and withdrawal from social activities to focus on personal reflection. This time may also bring encounters with people who live far away, or a preference for intimate gatherings with close friends, akin to family. On the 18th of January, a new moon occurs in Capricorn in your 6th house. The energy of this new moon promotes active engagement in practical matters and daily responsibilities. It may be a time for starting new work projects or tasks, conducting home renovations, or even relocating. This period involves organizing the environment that supports your endeavors and progress. For some, this new moon encourages initiating a healthy lifestyle, engaging in sports, adopting self-restraints, or undergoing preventive treatments. The 6th house governs the foundation of well-being, encompassing daily routines and rules that impact health. Changes during this time may include new work conditions, altered schedules, or reorganizing household responsibilities. On the 26th of January, an important event occurs. Neptune, the planet of ideals, dreams, and spirituality, enters your 9th house. Neptune moves slowly, and its position fosters aspiration toward ideals and dreams. This placement is favorable for your sign, as it creates a sense of luck and support in pursuing long-term goals. It may be a period for learning a new profession or pursuing higher education. The primary challenge is the illusion that you are not in the right place or time, believing that somewhere else lies a perfect life. Patience and discernment are required to navigate Neptune's influence effectively. On the 27th of January, a significant astrological event occurs. Mars and Pluto conjunct in your 7th house, representing power and transformation. This conjunction, occurring approximately once every 2 years, signals the beginning of a long-term cycle in which we must choose a focus for our energies for the next 2 years. The 7th house governs partnerships, so this period emphasizes the influence of partner relationships on life direction, whether through personal relationships, business collaborations, or joint projects. February is a pivotal month in 2026, setting the stage for main themes of the year. On the 1st of February, a full moon occurs in your sign, the 1st house. This full moon highlights the culmination of key matters and draws attention to your influence and actions. It marks results of tasks initiated in previous months, providing clarity on responsibilities, goals, and authority over circumstances. On the 14th of February, Saturn, the planetary ruler of responsibility and karma, moves into your 9th house. Saturn's visit brings long-term responsibility, discipline, and effort in areas related to education, worldview, and evaluation of your personal potential. Saturn's influence necessitates careful planning and commitment to meaningful goals in this sector. On the 17th of February, the first solar eclipse of the year occurs in your 7th house, impacting partnerships, friendships, and professional collaborations. This eclipse highlights overlooked aspects of relationships, prompting reassessment or renewed attention. While it does not necessarily indicate separation, it encourages reflection on why certain partnerships exist and whether they continue to serve mutual purposes. On the 20th of February, a historic astrological event occurs. the precise conjunction of Saturn and Neptune in Aries in your 9th house. This rare alignment signifies transformative changes in perspectives, education, and possibly advances in medical sciences, particularly regenerative medicine. It marks a shift in long-term potentials, both personally and globally. In March, financial matters, resources, investments, and assets become central. On the 3rd of March, a lunar eclipse occurs in your 2nd house, emphasizing personal income, assets, and self-esteem. This eclipse resolves long-standing financial matters, including property acquisitions, debt repayment, or banking operations. It signifies closure of financial cycles and sets the stage for new economic opportunities. On March 19, a new moon occurs in your 8th house of the horoscope. This is the field of other people's resources. Here, you can resolve some issue connected with your financial interactions with other people, organizations, or the state. For example, you may resolve questions related to taxes, your insurance policy, gather some documents necessary for receiving payments, or resolve other financial matters. Here, there may also be new developments connected with the income level of your partner in personal life. This is a time when social payments you receive may change, if this topic is relevant to you. Also, the value of your services may change, which will be related to the possible increase in the cost of materials that you use in your work. That is, again, this new moon brings something new developments connected with material affairs, related to receiving other people's resources or paying off some debt. In general, all of March is a time when you will somehow deal with financial matters. And all this in a favorable and optimistic key when some complex issue or task for you closes and new opportunities and developments appear in its place. On April 2, a full moon occurs in Libra, in your 3rd house of the horoscope. This full moon closes a topic or path that has been relevant for some time. That is, this period shows that there is no need to think about some question anymore, as this topic is closed or the task has been completed, and there is no need to continue this process. This may relate to purchasing matters when we have been searching for some item or studying information for a long time, and now we have already made the purchase, and there is no need to think about it further. This may also be a time when you complete training in some courses. Important documents for you may also be received at this time. In general, this full moon shows that some path is now closed for you as it is no longer relevant. It may also bring important events connected with your friends or your work, especially if it involves working with people, such as mediation or the sale of goods or services. Throughout almost the entire month, a stellium of planets will gather in Aries. For your sign, this is very favorable, as the stellium will form a powerful configuration of luck relative to your sign. This concerns the area of the 9th house of the horoscope, as expansion of your horizons, expansion of your opportunities. This may relate to education, travel, or relocation. It may relate to trading your goods or providing services, not only in your location but also beyond your city or country. This is a time of expanding the horizons of your opportunities. For some, this may manifest through receiving an important document that gives you certain rights. On April 17, in the same sector of your horoscope, in the 9th house, a new moon occurs. This new moon seems to push you forward, telling you to take at least one step beyond what you consider usual or permitted for yourself. This may manifest practically when you want to go somewhere new, to a place you have not been before. It may also manifest mentally when you wish to learn something new that may change your worldview. This is an interesting new moon that truly opens a window into a new reality, in which much is still unknown for you. And exactly there lie opportunities that are currently hidden from you. This may also manifest through receiving documents or resolving legal or bureaucratic issues, allowing you to feel freer and giving you a broader planning horizon. On April 26, another very important event of the year occurs. Uranus, the planet of the future, the most eccentric and extraordinary planet, moves into Gemini, your 11th astrological sector. Uranus is a slow planet, and it had already briefly entered this sector in 2025, but now it comes here for a main visit. Uranus will give each of us new experiences that we have never had. For you, this is the sphere of social success. This is a time that may bring inclusion in new social or collective projects that you could not have imagined participating in before. The 11th house is the sector of success. Uranus here will form a configuration that gives you the opportunity to achieve completely unexpected success, results that will exceed your expectations. Uranus, again, is a slow planet. It will remain in this sign and sector for 7 years and will bring revolutionary experiences for everyone. May is a very important month, a month of 2 full moons and of choosing the strategy of development for the next 7 years. On May 1, a full moon occurs in Scorpio, in your 4th house. The full moon represents completion, culmination, and clarity. The 4th house symbolizes matters connected with our home, place of residence, real estate, property, and family matters. The energy of this full moon will provide some results for processes connected to these matters. For some, it may be a family trip, a meeting with relatives, an important family event, or events connected to moving, renovation, or obtaining documents concerning your property and place of residence. On May 16, a new moon occurs in Taurus, in your 10th house. A new moon brings new developments, and the 10th house is the house of our status, our position on the social and career ladder. Here, an important event may occur that in one way or another defines and emphasizes your status. For some, this may be an important work or career event. For others, receiving important documents or documents connected to property rights. It may also involve an important conversation with your boss or a visit to a government office to resolve important matters. Important events related to your parents may also occur. May 22 is a very important day, which you should mark on your calendar. On this day, the first conjunction of the Sun and Uranus occurs in your 11th house. This indicates choosing a strategy for development for the next 7 years. It is a crucial moment to determine through which direction you will develop over the next 7 years. Uranus is the planet of the future, the planet of transformation, the planet of everything new to us. Here, essentially, we choose the direction through which we will move into the future. We choose our path into our future. This is important because if we do not determine our direction, this energetic flow will do it for us. Since this conjunction occurs in your 11th house, the house of results and the overall picture of our future, it is a time to think about the future you are building and what you want to achieve. Remember that the end determines the beginning. You need to imagine in detail what you want your future to look like in 7 years. Accordingly, your route will be built according to this image. This is a very favorable time to implement something new and progressive in your life and activities. Using new computer programs or acquiring new knowledge in your work or hobbies is beneficial. The significance of this event will be discussed in detail in a separate video, but this day should be marked on your calendar. May 26 is a rather tense day. On this day, an exact square aspect between Mars and Pluto forms in the sky. This aspect represents conflict and tension between 2 planets symbolizing power and authority. Therefore, it is not recommended to plan important matters on this day, as obstacles may arise that you will have to overcome. This is a tense and conflict-prone day and is better spent calmly, avoiding confrontation. On May 31, the second full moon of the month occurs in your 5th house in Sagittarius. The full moon represents completion, culmination, and results. The 5th house is the house of joy, symbolizing what delights our heart, as well as holidays, entertainment, our children, creativity, and feelings, including love. This is a time when you will feel what your heart truly desires. You may want to relax, allow yourself a celebration or an event. Important events connected to your children or your personal life may occur. There may be a new acquaintance, a confession of love, or a date. You may realize how you truly feel about someone you are already in a relationship with. On this day, you may feel drawn to something distant, inaccessible, or mysterious. This may concern your interests, education, travel, or matters related to love. On June 15, a new moon occurs in Gemini, in your 11th house. The new moon brings new energy, new plans, and developments. The 11th house is the house of social realization. This is a time when you will meet people more often than usual, go out more, and be invited to events more frequently. Friends may offer joint collective plans. This is also a good time for travel and starting projects through the internet or information sphere, for advertising, learning, or creating intellectual products, as well as forming a group to implement a plan together. June 20 is also an important day. On this day, Uranus, the planet of the future, forms tense aspects to karmic lunar nodes. This affects the financial axis of your horoscope and the sector symbolizing results. Essentially, this is the day when you choose your strategy for well-being, a survival strategy or a strategy for success. This day defines a self-imposed limit of success, where you determine what you are worthy of in the material world. The higher your standard, the more you can achieve. On June 29, a full moon occurs in Capricorn, in your 6th house. The full moon represents completion, culmination, and clarity. The 6th house symbolizes conditions in which we live and work, including home conditions, our work schedule, and working environment. This is a time when clarity will arise regarding how your work process will develop further. This may be a period of changes in your work or schedule, taking a long vacation, or changes within your team. This full moon may also affect the distribution of responsibilities within your family. As the full moon signifies completion, it brings a sense of relief from a regular or challenging task. On June 30, Jupiter enters your sign, where it will remain for a year. This is a time of generous opportunities, new paths, new interests, and the possibility to reveal new qualities of your personality. This is a unique period that does not occur often, so it is important not to miss the opportunities provided by generous Jupiter. On July 14, a new moon occurs in Cancer, in your 12th house. The new moon brings new energy, and the 12th house is the house of completion and solitude. This may bring a trip to a secluded place for rest, such as a sanatorium, resort, or your dacha. It is also a period when you may have more free time to address postponed matters. You may revisit a place where you once lived or visited. On July 29, a full moon occurs in Aquarius, in your 7th house. The full moon represents completion, culmination, and clarity. The 7th house is the sector of partnerships. This full moon will bring an event related to your key partners, including personal partners, friends, or business partners. Some decision or important event in your partner's matters may occur. August is very significant for you. On August 12, the first eclipse in many years occurs in your sign in the 1st house. The first eclipse will bring a new theme, task, or situation to the surface. This eclipse occurs in your own sign, your 1st house, which symbolizes self, personality, and the image you present to others. You will feel that it is time to change something within yourself, your image, your role, and possibly something in partnerships, personal, friendly, or business. Changes will occur that will make others see you as a different person with different possibilities than they thought. Since this eclipse occurs on the South Lunar Node, it is time to implement all accumulated changes on an event level. On August 18, the axis of karmic lunar nodes changes sign, and for the next 1.5 years moves into your 7th and 1st houses. This axis, called I and He, I and my partner, will bring significant changes in relationships. Programs that have already matured will be realized. You will gain evolutionary experience through partner relationships. For some, significant shifts in personal, friendly, and business relationships will occur, but mainly the model of your relationships will change. Influential people will enter your social circle, impacting your destiny, either in personal life, friendships, or business. On August 28, a full moon, more precisely a lunar eclipse, occurs in Pisces in your 8th house. This full moon closes a theme related to other people's money and resources. It may concern alimony, social payments, subsidies, insurance policies, banks, or other financial organizations. You may resolve questions about taxes, bank accounts, investments, or large purchases. This eclipse will also highlight situations in your joint budget or property, possibly with parents, personal partners, or business partners. A significant and long-term financial matter will be resolved. In September, specifically on the 11th, a new moon occurs in Virgo in your 2nd house of the horoscope. A new moon represents the birth of new energy, and the 2nd house is the sector of our personal assets, personal income, and also our self-esteem. During this period, something new will emerge. For some, it may be a new job. For others, it may be a restructuring of their personal budget, and for someone, it may be a new bank account. In essence, changes will take place concerning your personal finances, personal income, personal savings, and personal property. This period may bring new plans, new payments, new clients, or new ways of receiving money, as well as new categories of expenditures. Essentially, this is a time of updating or restructuring your financial life in one form or another. On the 26th of September, a full moon occurs in Aries in your 9th house of the horoscope. The full moon signifies the completion of certain issues, particularly those related to travel, trips, or the processing of important documents. Legal or bureaucratic matters may also reach clarity during this time. Important events connected with friends or the relatives of your personal partner may take place. Additionally, this full moon brings a certain clarity regarding your own learning or that of your child. In general, this period allows you to view the world, its opportunities, and perspectives differently, even if only slightly. Significant events may also occur concerning your cooperation with foreign organizations, foreigners, people from other cultures, or international trading platforms. This is a time when you may receive what you have been waiting for from afar, whether it be important information, a letter, or a package. On the 28th of September, Mars, the planet of strength, energy, and action, the main motivator and driving force of the horoscope, enters your sign, where it will remain until the 25th of November. This is the most active period of the year for your sign because when Mars is in your own sign, your activity levels increase significantly. Your words match your actions. You act very quickly and decisively. It is possible that you will be more impulsive, even hot-tempered or easily irritated than usual, but this is because you now have an abundance of energy at your disposal. From the 28th of September to the 25th of November, you will be at your most active. This is a time of energy concentration and maximum realization of many important matters for you. The only potential downside of this transit is that those around you may perceive you as too quick-tempered, acting too fast, not giving others time to think or prepare, and expecting everyone to move at your pace. October is a complex month. On the 3rd of October, an exact configuration forms between Mars and Pluto. Both planets symbolize struggle, power, and tension, and when they are diametrically opposed, they create an intense force field that provokes conflicts, tension, and simultaneously a feeling of fatigue from constant pressure. This tense aspect between Mars and Pluto will influence your 1st and 7th houses, meaning that the main field of conflict for you will be interpersonal relationships. Therefore, around this time, it is better not to plan resolutions to matters involving relationships of any kind. Additionally, on the same day, Venus, the planet symbolizing everything we enjoy, love, and that brings us pleasure, turns retrograde, a movement that will last until the 14th of November. Venus, retrograde will affect your 4th and 3rd houses, and during this period, situations that previously lacked clarity may reappear, primarily affecting you. You may reconsider your decisions, tastes, or attitudes toward someone or something. This is a time to avoid decisions involving major purchases of non-essential luxury items, as these purchases may later seem unsuitable or unprofitable once Venus goes direct. Past relationships may resurface or attempt to reestablish themselves. You may also feel the desire to revisit places that once held meaning or brought pleasure. On the 10th of October, a new moon occurs in Libra in your 3rd house of the horoscope. A new moon in the 3rd house opens new paths because the 3rd house represents our roads and ways. This period brings a new interest, a new direction in your activities, or a new idea that you will contemplate extensively. Essentially, the new moon in the 3rd house opens a topic that captures your attention or sets a task for regular engagement. It is a metaphorical opening of a new road. Additionally, this new moon may signal an influx of clients. If your activity involves providing services or selling goods, new partners or collaborators may appear. You may meet a very pleasant person who lives nearby and with whom you can spend time together or go on walks. In general, this is a time when you will notice more people in your environment with whom engaging will be interesting. The 3rd house also governs accessories, communication tools, and transportation. So you may develop an interest in acquiring or upgrading items you have been planning to get, such as a mobile phone, laptop, headphones, or a microphone. The third house also represents written communication, and Libra, as your third house, symbolizes interaction and partnership. Therefore, there will be more communication than usual, particularly written communication. You may receive important information in the form of letters, messages, or packages. On the 26th of October, a full moon occurs in Taurus in your 10th house of the horoscope. The full moon represents realization, culmination, and clarity. The 10th house is the house of our status, social position, and career level. Therefore, this is a period when an important foundational question will be resolved, possibly related to your place of residence, your work, important documents, or a diploma associated with your education. It may also involve a meeting with your parents if you live far from each other. This is also a time for visiting government institutions or agencies to resolve important matters. In November, on the 9th, a new moon occurs in Scorpio in your 4th house of the horoscope. The new moon signifies the birth of new energy, and the 4th house symbolizes our home, place of residence, living conditions, and family relationships. Something new will occur during this period. For some, it may be a move; for others, home purchases or the start or completion of a renovation. Important events may take place in the affairs of your relatives or within the family itself. A new topic for discussion within the family may arise. On the 16th of November, a very important astrological event occurs, one that happens rarely. This is the conjunction of Jupiter with the south lunar node in your sign, in the 1st house of your horoscope. This astrological event is a moment of karmic realization, connecting expansion, symbolized by Jupiter, with concentration, symbolized by the south node. It represents the time of maximum focus on something deeply important for you, not just in the present moment, but in karmic terms. For some, it may signify marriage. For others, a critical decision related to work or personal life. This period brings a significant event not only for each zodiac sign, but also for the world at large. Since this conjunction occurs in your sign, it may trigger rebellion against external dependence or influence, or a confrontation with someone attempting to control you. This is also a time when you are in the spotlight, potentially achieving success in examinations, receiving a new position, or gaining a new role and status on the social ladder. On the 24th of November, a full moon occurs in Gemini in your 11th house of the horoscope. The 11th house represents social realization, and the full moon brings results. During this period, some may complete their involvement in a social group or project, finish a course of study, or achieve long-awaited outcomes. This may also be a period of significant personal life events, including new interesting acquaintances, both personal and professional. Those working independently may receive results from their labor. In December, on the 9th, a new moon occurs in Sagittarius in your 5th house of the horoscope. A new moon represents the birth of new energy, and the 5th house governs everything that brings us joy: celebrations, children, emotions, and creative projects. This new moon brings fresh impulses, new interests, inspiration, and a feeling of wings on your back. For some, this may relate to personal life, while for others it may involve children or creative projects. New joint plans, interests, or trips may arise. This new moon may signal an important decision based on the heart, regarding work, a creative project, or personal matters. On the 24th of December, a full moon occurs in Cancer in your 12th house of the horoscope. The full moon signifies completion, culmination, and clarity, and the 12th house represents completion, results, and preparation for a new stage. On this day, you may feel the need to sum up certain matters, evaluate results, and create plans for the coming year. This period may also bring meetings with people you rarely see but feel are part of your destiny. Each month and every significant astrological event will be analyzed in detail so that you can take full advantage of favorable influences and avoid mistakes, illusions, or traps during tense periods. To summarize, the main task for your zodiac sign this year is transformation in partnership relations. For some, this may manifest through personal life, such as a new acquaintance, marriage, an important personal decision, or changes in the character of your relationships. For others, it may manifest through changes in relationships with friends or colleagues. A second crucial task begins on the 30th of June, focusing on determining, at the level of personal awareness, what you allow yourself to have materially. This involves setting a new personal standard for material well-being and success. One simple practice is to state aloud the amount of monthly income you aim for, starting with your current earnings, and then gradually increasing the figure. When you feel inner resistance, it signals the current limit you have imposed on yourself. Your task is to authorize yourself to achieve a higher level of material abundance, and this newly set standard will influence your life over the next 12 years.